I want to begin my comments with where the film ended and just say the fact that you all are here, that the intention with which you entered this room today and that you have stayed means that you do believe that Black girls are sacred and deserve to be loved. And so I thank you for that. And then I just want to bring, I love that you have the books in there and Toni Morrison, but what I just want to center myself in this moment by bringing Dr. Maya Angelou into the room, who said there's no greater agony than bearing an untold story. Yeah. And the stories that we heard here today, profound and representative of the experiences of millions of Black girls and women. And here I am, a congresswoman, 45 years old, and still asking, why am I being told that I am disruptive and insubordinate? Because it is systemic, and it is about culture, and it is about injustice. The other thing I want to say that I so enjoyed when the little girl ran across exhibiting that Black girl joy, I met Dr. Maya Angelou one time, and here is this orator, this poet, this professor. I gave her a piece of paper, and I think she would just autograph it and pen her name. But after she wrote her name, beneath it, she wrote the word joy with an exclamation point. And that has stayed with me, because out of all the words and all the phrases that she could have put down, she wrote joy. And it is heartbreaking to me that our girls are being robbed of that. Because I know as marginalized and oppressed folks, we get so much messaging from our families and from the world about the armor that we need to put on to navigate the world safely, but you don't hear enough about the armor of joy. And it is also, particularly in this climate, when our very existence is the resistance, it is so very critical that we continue to inform that joy. Now, when it comes to policy, I'm excited about what we are going to introduce. And I want to say what this film underscores is that it is possible for us to inform the joy in the lives of Black girls, for them to feel seen and heard and valued just for how they authentically show up in the world. That educators can observe a child either shutting down or acting out, and instead of initiating the conversation with what is wrong with you, can instead ask, what happened to you? It is possible. And so the stories and what we saw in this movie are sobering confirmation of this multi-generational, intersectional trauma that has been put into place not by culture that just happened in the ether, but by policy. And it also provides the blueprint and a prescriptive path forward, which is why I'm so grateful for your partnership. And so in the legislation that we will be putting forward is going to center itself around data. Lawmakers are always talking about the best policies are data-driven. Well, Black data matters, right? It matters. And so, without giving too much away, what we're going to look at is strengthening civil rights data collection, which tracks a multitude of data, including discipline trends, suspension and expulsion rates, among other things, from school districts across the country. Now, this is the data set that shockingly revealed that preschoolers, children who are 4 and under, were more likely to be expelled than children in every other grade. And that is appalling. That is an injustice. So right now, this data is collected every other year. And this simply isn't good enough. So we need to see this data annually so that schools and civil rights advocates can spot harmful trends in real time. already been referenced, we need to look at ways to incentivize schools and districts to move away from exclusionary discipline policies and to instead work with students, families, and communities to create culturally competent policies. And what's been said throughout this panel, trauma-sensitive, trauma-informed care and services. And so my push on the council, and this continues on the federal level, is for those socio-emotional wellness supports, because we can make the progress and pay our teachers what they deserve. We can upgrade our facilities. We can focus on rigor and readiness for the workforce in the world. But if our children don't have a readiness to learn, it doesn't matter. And so when we talk about funding and resources, those resources have got to be people-centered, with a social and racial justice lens, and values aligned. Because right now, even if you got the money, not everyone would say that investment primarily needs to begin with the health and wellness of our children. They have to have a readiness to learn. So stay tuned. We're excited about where we're taking this from a policy perspective. And again, I thank all of the thought leaders here and activists for their partnership.
Thank you.